Hi, Homeworthy. My name is Molly Ford. Welcome to my Brooklyn townhouse. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
My name is Molly Ford. I'm a small business owner and floral designer, and we are in my townhome in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. My husband and I moved to New York about 6 years ago, and we had absolutely no money, but we were super excited to be in New York. And we ended up moving to Bushwick, and we had a small railroad-style apartment living next to a concrete factory, and there was graffiti just everywhere. And it was a perfect home for the first New York apartment. And then, like most New Yorkers, we had a wish list. We wanted washer, dryer, dishwasher, a backyard would be ideal. So we just had this wish list on Zillow, and we would refresh it every once in a while. And then we ended up finding this apartment. And when we saw it, we just immediately knew that this was something that could be such a sweet space for us. So it's a rental, it's a 2-story apartment with a backyard. Having your own space, private space, an outdoor nature location is so special because I feel like I can have my coffees outside and read my book and host friends, and it just feels like a luxury in New York when it's something that I didn't even know I could have. And so this home feels so special. We've hosted so many parties, so many friends have stayed here with us, and it just feels like such a treat to be able to have this as our home. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my home. I'm going to show you really special pieces that have made our home feel very special and personal. I'm also going to take you into my garden, where we're going to cut a few of very fresh blooms and make an arrangement that feels very natural. It's something that I would do if I'm having friends over for dinner. I would go in the backyard and just cut some flowers or greenery or branches. And we're gonna do that today. I'm gonna teach you a few simple tricks that if you're going on a walk and you secretly pick some things, how you can bring it into your New York apartment and make it feel special. So welcome to the second floor. This is my living room. It is one of the things that took my breath away whenever I looked at this apartment, especially because of the ceilings and the walls. They're all original, which feels really special. It's that pre-war New York townhouse, crown molding that feels so desirable. And yeah, we filled it with a lot of antiques and a lot of furniture that feels special to have these little moments. Some really special pieces to me. This painting is from the Cotswolds. I went to the Cotswolds with a few of my girlfriends for my 30th birthday, and we had just finished touring the Highgrove Gardens, and it was a very beautiful experience. And it's in this town that has a ton of antiques, and we went to all these stores and I saw this painting and I fell absolutely in love, especially because of the frame. There's little roses, and then the actual painting is just so beautiful. So we paired it with another hand-painted photo, which we just got from a market in Brooklyn. This pillow is really fun. We got it in Maine. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it or not because I kind of thought it was gonna be too large, but it's perfect with this 6-penny chair that's just massive. 3 people can sit on it, which is so fun. This stool is also really lovely for me. I love the drama of how tall it is. And also I love this vase on top. I got this at the Dumbo flea market, and then I got this from an online Instagram antique dealer. Just little moments. We love these little knickknacks, putting them throughout the space. This is an antique. I forget the name of who designed it, but it's one of the original ones that there's now a lot of copies of, but it was really fun to have that. We had it in our last apartment, and we knew that we wanted a bit of chrome with the wood, which in my mind was a little bit odd, but it actually works really well, which is fun. We also have these pocket shutters that don't open, and I'm determined that I'm gonna open them one day. But for now, they don't. They're painted over. I'm a little bit nervous on what's inside, but I do love when you walk past homes in New York, they have those like pocket shutters that close. And I just think it's like a beautiful architect moment where we don't see that a lot anymore. And now I want them in my home. And maybe I can get it one day. This table is really fun because we got it at the Chelsea flea market in the city. And we went there because one of my girlfriends, she was looking for like a smaller version of this. This is what we had. And my husband and I, we saw this really long version and we were like, the drama of the size feels really fun. There was one piece that had like this little like headrest and they said that it like could be a bed. And so we were like, that feels like a fun thing to add to our space. So we bought the big one and sold the small one to our girlfriend. And it's super heavy, really fun. I love these like indentions. I don't know if they're for anything, but I love it. It's such a cool piece. And then these rugs, they're really fun too because we bought just one from Etsy from Morocco. And it was during COVID and it was taking a long time. It got stuck in customs and the Etsy shop was really kind and they sent us another one. And then both of them came in. And so then we had two really massive blue rugs and one was just like in storage for a long time because we didn't have enough room in our space. And then when we saw this room, we thought we could just like put the rugs together and make this like really long moment. And so then that's what we did. And it adds so much color and blue is like, I feel very drawn to blue with interior design. I don't know why, but it's very calming to me. And so I've enjoyed having it in the space. Another piece that I love is a stool. It is from Facebook Marketplace. Hudson found them. It's a set of two. And they have these like little bells on them. And they're really fun. It's just a weird little stool, but I love it. This is the painting that we originally got from Amarel. She's a lovely Brooklyn artist. She used to be our barista at our old coffee shop. And we just fell in love with like the colors and the texture and all the shapes. And so this is our first piece that we've ever purchased that was like an investment piece. And I feel like it balances a lot of the colors with the wood and all of our little antique tchotchkes. This is another cool lamp that we got from, again, Good Behavior. I'm obsessed with it. This is like a suede center. And then this pleated shade, more hydrangeas and smoke bush now. All these little moments, they feel really special. This is a cool matchbook, like holder. So you could take out your matches and then hopefully light them in here. Oh, that was quite large, more than I expected it to be. But yeah, we just got it engraved with Ford. I think it's really fun, a funky little piece. More so display than obviously use, but it definitely works. We got the Samsung TV. It's the same as the frames, except it has the legs to it. It's so heavy, it's like 80 pounds. So every time we go to move it, there has to be two people. We got this because, well, one, it was on sale. It was cheaper than the frame TV. And a lot of the walls in our old apartment, especially, they weren't like super sturdy. And so we just felt nervous about putting a TV on the wall. So we decided to get one that was like on the ground. And I love it. It's so big and such a statement. We can put it like in the middle and it feels like an art piece, or we can put it against a wall. And it's a place where like people can come in and watch like music videos and just like hang out, or we can like have movie nights. And it feels, all of our pieces are so large. And I think the balance of the space with like these larger pieces, we're not uncomfortable with something like feeling like it's so large, because I think that it balances itself out, especially with the high ceilings and everything. The first thing that drew me to this home was the crown molding and the beautiful ceilings. I feel like it has so much light and it allows so much space. My husband and I love antiques, so the first thing was like pulling in the things that we already have, mixing in old with new. We love like grand rugs and color and fabric and patterns. And so our design method was basically just like pull in everything that we like and see if it works. And the space is so beautiful that I think anything could work, but it is so special to have those like little moments of like when we were traveling, we had this picture frame, or we have a beautiful like pottery, like ceramicist friend, and they have their art in our space. And it just feels really special to pull in so many meaningful things to make this home feel special and make it feel like it's something that we can like pull people in and feel excited about. Oh, hi, Homeworthy. I bet you didn't know that I had pocket doors. They're so much fun. This is my first time having them in my home, and we shut these off every night and like make this room very dark and cozy. We have 2 sound machines that we turn on at night, but it feels fun to have these doors where it can just like close off from the living room. This becomes a bedroom, and then during the daytime, it's like one open space. So this is our bedroom. It is really lovely. One of the most important things or special things to me is the ceiling. There are moments that even have like little flowers on the ceiling. And for me as a florist, obviously I love that stuff. And it just feels really romantic and special. And all of the door frames, all of the like even doors, there's just so much texture with it. I could stare at it literally all day long. There's a lot of pieces in this room that feel really special to me. One is this room divider. Also Facebook Marketplace. We got it from this like Danish man, and he had it for a really long time. He brought it over and lived in New York with it for a really long time. And we got it because of the color, the stripes, the wood. It like can fold up, but it makes this space where it's like you're walking into our bedroom, but you're also like a little bit sectioned off from our bed, but also still open. And it's just such a beautiful piece. I'm actually obsessed with it. Another beautiful piece in this room is this cabinet. We also got it from Good Behavior. It stores all of our like knitwear inside of it. And then it has this cute little shelf for all of our like perfumes and colognes, more hydrangeas, more like grasses. I love having these like organic natural pieces in the space without having just like flowers everywhere. Like this is less upkeep than like a bouquet of flowers in my home. So I enjoy that since it's also my job to like have the flowers. But I love this piece. It's like so beautiful with all of its little shutters and the texture of it. This is my desk. She is a really fun piece because it's like an old vanity desk. You can have these like pockets that pop out, and you're supposed to have like a very specific skirt with it where it like slides onto this and you can like fold it around. I don't have that skirt, so I just have this like fabric going around it, but it's so like dainty and cute and special, and I really love sitting there. This is also a beautiful painting. This is the one that I was talking about earlier, where it's like all green and brown and red with this one little red pop. I think it's so special. And so then I paired it with this red lamp, which is attached to the wall, that we got from Etsy. And it's just such a fun little moment for me to like wake up and see this red and like feel like inspired by all the colors. I think it's so beautiful. This lamp is really fun. Our friends were leaving New York and they had it in their apartment, and they wanted to continue to have it like live within the friend group. And so they gave it to us, and it's like such a fun lamp because you can move all the pieces and like spread out the light, but then also like make it really tight. And it's fun because at night it lights up the ceiling and like it shows all of the beautiful texture on the ceiling, which I really enjoy. And now she's dancing. The back of the bed are like headboard, also antique from Good Behavior again. It's like a beautiful piece, and it's just this solid wood that we wanted to like bounce off of all of the other wood in the space. So one of my sister-in-laws, she painted the painting in the kitchen. And then this is my youngest sister-in-law. She made this quilt for Hudson for Christmas. And I think she made it in the matter of like a week, which kind of blows my mind because I don't sew. But she's very creative, and I will keep it for the rest of my life. It's very special. This side table is a stool that we got from the same online Instagram antique dealer as in the living room, this one and the one on my bedside. They're so fun. We knew we wanted bedside tables, but we didn't know what we wanted. And we're not people that like want things to match, as you can tell. And so we were like, let's do stools. And so this was one of the stools. I love it. It's like a perfect little piece for us to put our books and our water. And if we have coffee in the morning in bed, we can just put it right there. It's great. Because this is a townhouse and now there's multiple units in the space, a few of the doors used to lead into rooms that they now don't lead into. Like behind our bed, there are those massive doors, and originally they would be leading into this room. They don't anymore, and I don't know why, because it would be very cool. But this is our bathroom, and it's very dramatic because of this bathtub. And when we first like walked up the stairs and saw the bathroom, and then I saw the living room and the walls, I was like, I don't know if I can live without this apartment. I will take a bath and watch like our backyard, and there's birds that come. You can see our cherry tree in the back through the window. You can see the weeping willow swaying. It's a really peaceful place, and I feel very thankful for it. And it is a bathroom that I didn't know I could have in New York, but here we are. So the bathroom's very white, and I wanted something that had a little bit more color and texture. And so there's this basket that we decided to put on the wall, and it's just, I don't know where it's from or what it was made for, but for us, it's a piece of art that just hangs up on the wall that creates a little bit more texture. When I'm looking in the mirror, instead of just a white wall, I see, color. I feel very inspired by color, texture, and shape. I think that with floral design, it's very special to have space in your arrangements. I don't like it when it's like all just super tight together. I love white space and movement. I love grasses that will flow in the wind. I love dainty little flowers and then big like peonies or an orchid. And I think having that variety of like shape size from like something super small to something really large or something really tall and like a shorter arrangement, just having that depth feels really special and important to me. Also playing with color feels really important. And I bring that into my home as well. There's so many pieces in my apartment that are very like old world, where it's like really old wood. It's a little bit funky. If you push down on one side, the table might break. Like, it's just, I love things that aren't incredibly precious, but things that are old, that feel important, that have a story to them. So this is our entryway. We want this to be a space where you can take off your shoes, take off your jacket, but also feel comfortable. One of my favorite pieces in this entryway is this sweet little stool. The size is perfect, especially for opening the door and someone being able to sit and enjoy themselves. This is my husband's music studio. It's a very special place where he can make all of his music. Something that was super important for us was the sound in this room, and also it's our guest bedroom. So we pull out this couch and people sleep in here. And so we wanted it to be very cozy and warm and feel very like approachable. So the coolest project that I think we've done in the space is covering all the walls with this like velvet brown fabric. And we would buy all these panels. They're literally just like curtains, but we would buy the panels, put them up and be like, we need more. We need more. So we bought, I don't even know how many panels of curtains to cover this, but I love how it goes over the corners and it just flows throughout the whole room. We have a beautiful Picasso print over his piano. This piano is like one that they do for travel. It's super old school. This like folds up into like a trunk, so it's like transportation. I'm probably butchering it because I'm not a musician, but this room is like really special for me because he gets to create so much in here and it feels like a beautiful space and a guest bedroom, so come on over. So our old home was a railroad style apartment, and our dining room was also the music studio, and it just felt like there wasn't enough space. It was truly just a desk with like a few pieces of like instruments. And when we found this apartment, we knew that this room was going to be a music studio. It just felt kind of right. It felt like if we could have our old IKEA couch and have that into like a fold-out bed for our guests and also be able to have a space where Hudson can create. That felt really special and important. And so the floor in this room feels lovely, so we wanted to like keep it exposed a little bit. This room is very different than the other rooms because of the fabric. The other spaces, we fill the walls with like art or leave it white and allow the furniture to breathe. But this room feels just so different and warm and lovely when you walk in. It's like a landing place for a lot of people, especially when we have a party, because it's like right by the entry. And sometimes I'll come in here and people are just like hanging out on the couch when the whole party's going on, like in the backyard or in the kitchen. So it just feels safe and warm in here. And our whole design concept was to like make it approachable and like a really lovely place where he can like be in his own space and just create and feel comfortable. A really fun piece in the apartment is this bookshelf. Hudson found it from Facebook Marketplace. And it's, if I open this, it's all of his stuff coming out, but it's basically like an old secretary desk. You can like type over here. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's very like narrow, which I thought was perfect for the space. He needed something to just be able to store stuff, put all of the miscellaneous like instruments and sound stuff up there. It's fun. Something that's really fun about this lamp shade, it's from a company called Tulip. And basically their whole concept is taking like the boob lights that everyone has in their apartments that aren't super beautiful, and it's a really easy installation. And it's just like this beautiful light that you just pop over. So that was fun to incorporate as well. Instead of changing the whole light fixture, just put a little lampshade over it. That's all for this room. Let's go into the kitchen and dining room. So this is the kitchen. It kind of blew my mind because of its size and the amount of storage that we have. Unfortunately, I am not a great cook or baker, but I'm trying. It's a goal for this year. But something that's really important about this space is, again, the ability to host. When we have parties, we fill this middle island with food and drinks, and people normally just gather around this island. And it's just a fun space to like be able to have people over and have enough room to like have people in and out of the space and kitchen. So a luxury in this apartment is having a washer and dryer. Don't look at my dirty clothes. We love fabric. Again, this did have like a door on it, and we took it off and put on more fabric just to have texture and make it really easy. And there's not like a door coming out at you. It's just sliding this way. So yeah, I feel very thankful for that, to have it in our kitchen and be able to wash our clothes and not send them off to the laundry. Other really beautiful pieces in the space. We have this bowl that I just got from Mexico City, and everything in Mexico City was so beautiful, and all the ceramics really stood out to me. And I love this bowl. Fishes, how cute. We also have like a lot of just antique little moments that Hudson has found from Etsy or Facebook Marketplace or different markets. And again, like old wood feels really special to us. And then also ceramics feel really special. So I believe we got this in Nashville, I think. Every time we go on a trip, we love to bring back like little knickknacks and tchotchkes. It just feels like a space where if you need something, you can have it here. So we're trying to like take advantage of every space and countertop and really enjoy it. Whenever we have parties or have people over, we have a Polaroid camera, and we like our friends to just like take photos and enjoy it. And so what I need to do is get one of those books. But for now, they're just sitting in a bowl. And it's really fun to like come here and look through these pictures and remember the moments that we've had in this space, because again, it's really important to have like people here and to enjoy it and to celebrate life in this apartment. These are all the photos of that. Like I said before, color and texture is really important to me, especially whenever we are hosting or you're thinking about like a table and a lot of people sitting at the table with really colorful food or beverages. And so we have all of these like cups and plates and bowls and like serving bowls that just feel really fun to like put on the table, and you can put like herbs in this and then lemon slices, and then you have it by like a glass of orange wine, and it just feels a little bit more exciting for me, at least, having all of these like colors and textures, especially when I'm hosting or having a dinner. And then I get to close it and no one gets to see it until I open it up again. Something that's really fun about this apartment is the entryway between the kitchen and the dining room. This space is a space that like holds so many of our friends. We'll have game nights on the table, and then it's like, oh, we get to lounge on the couch as well. We spent so much time trying to find this couch because it had to be the perfect size, because we wanted both. We wanted a couch and a table. And this couch we found, it's vintage, it's horse and hog hair, which is super interesting to me. We've spilt a lot of wine on it, unfortunately, but we've just flipped all the covers. And it's like precious, but it's also approachable, which feels important for a space where a lot of people are coming in and out. This table is also vintage. A lot of our vintage pieces are from a Brooklyn antique company called Good Behavior. We got the table from them. We have this like storage unit from them, this lamp from them. They have a lot of really good pieces that we are like totally drawn to. And my favorite thing about this storage unit is like the glass. It's all curved. I think it's really beautiful and lovely, and it stores all the things that I can host with. I have these beautiful swans. They're like napkin weights. And my girlfriend got them for me for my 30th birthday. And I think that they are just actually perfect. I love them so much. And then all of our like silver and our ceramics. It's just a beautiful space to have a little storage. This gallery wall was something that my girlfriend, she works for an interior design company, and she was like, let's do a gallery wall. Because we had all of these pieces that we didn't really know what to do with. And so many of these pieces on this wall are very important to Hudson and I. These pictures are literally just like big printouts from when we were in Tulsa. This is like an old Chinese restaurant that we used to go to. This print, it is something that's been in every single home that we've had, from Tulsa to Bushwick to Bed-Stuy. And it's not like the craziest print in the world. I didn't even know who did it, but it does feel, when you have those moments where it's like home is like these pieces, I feel like that's been like part of our home journey. And then we also bought this like print. It actually is a painting. We bought it from Union Square, like one of those artists in the Union Square market, our first year in New York. So it's about 6 years old, and we didn't know what to do with it for the longest time, and we just decided to get it framed. And it's fun because it's like from our first year in New York, and it's like a fun piece to just have as like a statement moment. But yeah, this wall is like precious. It has so many like pieces of art. This is a super old dog. I think it's like, I don't even know the year, I think 1930s or something. Like, it's so beautiful. And he's just like this funky little print sketched out. But yeah, I love this wall. So much art. This is my sweet, sweet, sweet Pomeranian, Milo. He is precious. And we got him from a farm in Oklahoma, got him off of Craigslist. And I think I will never have another dog outside of Pomeranians. They are sassy and perfect, and I love him. Hudson and I actually met in Syracuse, New York. I was visiting a friend's family, and he was doing a music tour. And we met at Applebee's after one of his shows. And little did I know that he would be my husband a few years later, but we went back to school and had a few classes together and started working in the same department and slowly fell in love. And then we dated for 2 years and then got married pretty young. We've been married for 8 years now, and it's been such a sweet journey for us to like kind of grow up together. It feels like when you meet someone really young and then you build a life together, you get to learn so much about who that person is and who they're growing into being. And I feel very thankful for him. So throughout our space, you will find all of these like dried hydrangeas. I love them so much because of like the shape, and also how the stems are so long, and you can kind of, especially when they're dry, You can manipulate it any way. So this you could literally just put up top here and have it like coming out more of a moment like that, or coming out this side. These are called cone hydrangeas. They are available in the late summer, and they're the ones that dry really well. The ones that you'll find at a grocery store won't dry like this. So you have to find the cone hydrangeas, but they are so lovely and an easy little touch to a space that if you want like something that has texture and color, they're really special. There's also some that are other colors, like these. They're like pink versus the brown. They're so fun. I love them. They're all over my home. So this table is really lovely and beautiful. It is like a fold-out leaf table. I don't know where it's from or how old it is, but I do know it's quite old, and it's been such a fun place. Mini meals, mini games, lots of moments have been had at this table, which is really fun. I think one of the best things about hosting is knowing who's going to be in your space, knowing how they feel and what they feel like excited about. Hosting so much is creating an environment for people, so you want to be relaxed and comfortable and excited to have people in your environment. When you welcome people into your home, you're welcoming them into your world, and so you do have control over that to a degree. And so making sure that they have enough food, making sure they have enough to drink, making sure that there's like something that's entertaining or conversation pieces that feel important where they can feel seen or walk away and feel excited to come back. But it's creating that environment that is so special and important, and it requires thought beforehand, but also it makes the party or the dinner so much more important whenever you've prepared and created that environment for people. My childhood was really magical. I grew up in Arkansas with parents who were artists, but also owned a 12-step program where they helped people through nature and through art. And my childhood was just surrounded by nature. We also didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so it felt important that like the resources of earth were beneficial to us. All of the furniture in my house was like handmade by my mom. All of our walls were murals. My childhood home literally had like the ceilings and the floors painted as like a jungle. And so growing up, I just felt very connected to nature. When I was in college, I decided that I wanted to study nonprofit management, and I kind of thought that's where my life was going to take me. And I started working at nonprofits, but on the weekends, I was an intern for a floral company in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I would work 14-hour days, and I would have more energy from those jobs than I would from my 9 to 5. And it just felt really special to be able to create things for people. And so I thought I would just do that on the side for a really long time. Moving to New York, I also thought that that was going to be the case. I moved here for a job, a nonprofit job, and then I started freelancing on the side, and then the pandemic happened. And we were able to kind of rethink what I wanted to do with my life. And I started getting orders, and people were interested in the company. And it just developed into this thing where now my husband and I run Flowers by Ford full time. He's also a musician, and we just have created this life that feels like something I couldn't have even dreamed of. And I feel so thankful for it, because now we can both like live in our art and do what we love and have a life that feels slow and also fulfilling and important. And it's been a journey of a lifetime, and I'm so thankful for it. New York is super interesting because there are so many people that want to throw so many parties. Coming from Arkansas and Oklahoma, I had an idea of like the type of celebrations that New York offers, but being here in the industry where you offer services for parties, it's really expanded my world. And there was like one account that really changed my life. My friend worked for a co-working space, and they needed weekly flowers. And it was enough money where I was able to quit my job. And so it was just that moment where I was like, there's something to this, and I can make it work if I hustle really hard, find the right clients and the right gigs. And that's how it all evolved. And then our online portfolio really started to take off, and now I'm with a management company that helps with branded campaigns and social media and content, and it's just continuing to follow what feels right and say yes to open doors, and also realize that like there's enough room for so many people. There's so many florists in New York, And I'm so thankful that I've built a community out of the floral industry, but also like it's supported me and my family, and it supports so many other people. And also being able to hire freelancers and offer jobs, like it's such a fun journey. And it feels like it's just from those like little small yeses. So we're gonna go into my garden, and I'm going to clip just a few pieces of greenery, and I have a lilac bush. I'm gonna add some lilac. We're gonna use a vase that's in my apartment, and we're just gonna build an arrangement that will be fun to like keep in the center of my living room, so that when friends come over later, there'll be a beautiful like arrangement that they can just enjoy. So this is my like little haven. We have incredible direct light, which feels like a gift. This is like the garden area, our weeping willow and our cherry tree. This is where we have all of our parties, the long table, and this is where I have my morning coffee as much as I possibly can. We're just gonna pick a few random things to put together, and you can do this literally any point, anytime. The base is always like greenery. I think that that's an important starting point. And if you can, I would do things that have different heights, so that when you're thinking about where you're putting this in the vase, like this is gonna go tall, this is gonna go low. So I'm gonna get a few other pieces that are a little low. I think some grass could be fun. Get in here. Yeah, that's feeling good. Maybe a few more greenery. Especially, I love coming out here whenever I can pick pieces that I know will continue to grow. So I'm like taking away from my garden right now, but it's only the beginning of spring. All of this is gonna come back so quickly. And so it feels nice that I can like trim things back and know that it's going to continue to grow and be even larger. Let's maybe get a few leaves as well. You know, shades of different colors make a huge difference. So when you're in the garden, even like with this in my hand, there are so many different shades of green. You have this like really vibrant lime green, and then you have these like darker shades. And then you have some greenery that has like this really light, almost like white. And I love balancing and like mixing all of those in, and then always throwing in these like darker shades of like burgundy or brown. I do that a lot with my arrangements. I'll have like a very pastel shade of like pink and yellow and orange, and then I'll do like one chocolate Cosmo that's like this burgundy pop. I think the contrast of that is just so fun. One gardening tip I would say, obviously water it as much as you possibly can. Pull all the weeds, but also just have fun. I have messed up and killed so many plants. And I've also planted some of these like grasses 2-3 years ago, and they're still coming back. And so I think just like trusting nature and knowing that the plants will grow. And if they don't, it's okay. You'll learn and you'll figure out something else. But planting perennials has saved my life, because I'm not spending hundreds of dollars every spring to replant a whole garden. All of this is growing back from like 2 years ago, which is really fun. I just purchased this lilac bush, and this part of my garden, a lot of stuff doesn't grow, and I don't know why. Also, I should be like pulling all these weeds, and I'll be doing that later today. But this part of my garden, a lot of stuff doesn't grow, and so I was like, I'm just going to plant things in pots and see if that changes it. I think there's something in the soil back here that just isn't working. It also gets more shade than the rest of the garden. So I think that that's also something that happens. But this lilac bush, I'm obsessed with her. And so we're gonna use a few of that. She's just now starting to bloom, which is really fun. And another favorite piece about this garden, which I'm not even responsible for, is this rose bush. It's from my neighbor. Their garden, they don't like keep up with it as much as they used to, but I know that someone loved it really well at one point, because there's all these roses that are like falling over. And I think it's really special. They'll bloom and they'll be like this pop of red, similar to the painting in my bedroom. It feels like a little moment for me. This back table To be honest, I don't know what it is. It was here when we moved in. I'm assuming it was some type of like outdoor cooking area because of this like concrete base, and it has this like pit back here and a lot of metal. So I'm curious if like it was something for cooking or maybe it was just hosting at some point. What I use it for are my herbs. These are all like planted herbs, potted herbs, and like a rose bush. And then this will be like the back table where people come and get their drinks. So normally when we have parties, this is like the drink station. So it pulls people from the kitchen all the way out, which I found with hosting, if you break things up and you kind of lead people into spaces, it feels like there's more room to breathe and there's like more moments. So this is our drink station moment and my herb moment, which I think I'm gonna get a few of these green ferns for our arrangement. And this arrangement's gonna be super simple because again, I'm just getting it from my garden. If you're going to the market or you're going to the grocery store, you can get just like a few bundles of different varieties to make it feel like you're mixing textures and colors all together. A few tips is like cutting all of your stems at an angle so that whenever you put it in the water, they'll be able to drink a little bit more water. I'll show you when I'm building the arrangement, but you want all of the leaves to come off where it's gonna like hit the water line. But if you're just like cutting from outside in the nature, just get products that come at like, that just catch your eye. Like this is such a beautiful moment where it'll fall over the vase, and then these are like moments that will come really high up. And it can be all greenery or it can also be with flowers. It just depends on kind of what you have and what you want to pull into your space. All right, that feels good. Shall we go inside and build our arrangement? Let's do it. So once you have all of your cut greenery, flowers, whatever it is, your next step in building arrangement is going to be processing your flowers. So you have this stem and you see how we have all of these leaves on the stem. You're gonna wanna take those off, and it can be super simple, literally just like taking it off with your hand, because anything below the water line that has a leaf in it, it's going to create bacteria where your flowers are going to die faster. So you're just gonna take that off, and then you're gonna trim everything at an angle like this. If you have like a woody stem or like hardy stem like this, you can also cut it in half. So you're just splitting it to give this a moment to have a little bit more water. So you're just gonna do that with all of your greenery, and then you can start putting them in there, or you can put them to the side once it's processed if you want to just like have these available for you to build things. It kind of depends on what you want to do. I'm probably going to process it and then put it in the vase as I process my flowers. Whenever I'm building my arrangements, I really like the lip of the vase to be somewhat covered, but I don't want my arrangement to be super tight. So I'm going to cut my flowers to have a little bit longer of a stem where it can like come out, but it is resting on the lip of the vase so that it has this like moment where it's covering it, but it's still coming out. Normally, when you have a vase like this, you want to build an arrangement that's almost like double the size of the vase, because you want the spacing of everything to not feel so claustrophobic, but you also want it to feel grand if you have this much of like product, because you'll see that it'll quickly fill up, especially with all of our branches. And it's fun to just like start low and then go high. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build my base. Then you get to add in all of the other fun little stuff. But the base is important. Anytime you're building an arrangement at home, it could be for a holiday, or it could be just for yourself or for a dinner party. The main thing is you just wanna have fun. And if you like something, put it in. And whenever you're building it, one thing that I really enjoy is like creating shapes. And so you can see like this is coming up a little bit higher and then it's slowly going down. And whenever I put the ferns in, they're gonna like trail and cascade out of the arrangement. So it feels like you're creating this like art piece and this shape that feels interesting versus just like a big ball of flowers. But again, if that's what you like, go for it. I just think that it's fun to have a little bit of shape and texture whenever you're building the arrangement. Then you have a piece like this, where if you're just putting it like standing up like this, it naturally is coming this way. My arrangement is already going up this way, so I'm gonna put it in the middle where it can also follow this way. So then I have these really tall moments, and then she's like falling down, which is always nice for me in my arrangements. I look back on some of my arrangements that I made when I was like just starting out, and some I really like, some I really don't. And I think the number one thing with design is like to keep going and find out what you like. In the beginning, you're going with what's natural, but also you could be like trying to replicate an arrangement that you've seen online, or you're following a YouTube video or an Instagram reel where you're trying to like copy something that someone's teaching you. And one of my biggest pieces of advice is like, keep going, figure out what like feels good for you. We all like so many different things. And for me, the biggest thing is like texture, color, and shape. For you, it could be like the actual product. You could love tulips, and like every arrangement you make, you want a tulip in there. And so just go with what you like. It's important to like enjoy the art that you're creating, because that comes through in the arrangement. And it makes it feel exciting for you, which is the main thing. You want to just have a good time. I think the main thing that probably separates like a hobby from a career is just like learning. I think it's learning which flowers last in a certain season. If you have an event and it's really hot in the summer and you are about to deliver a bridal bouquet, and you know that that bridal bouquet is going to be out of the water for several hours, and the bride's going to be like tossing it around and hugging people, and it's like, it can't be super delicate. So just knowing like information and learning which flowers need like hot water, which flowers need cold water. And so literally it's just a point of like learning and like time. Time is on our side with any hobby, with any skill set. And I think it's just like leaning into that. I only have the information that I do because of people that have like taught me. And like I've been open to learning from different florists who have a lot more experience than I do. It's always like a learning game. So now that I've built like my greenery base, I started adding in some of this like tall grass that like falls forward. And I'm also adding these like really special color moments in the front of the arrangement. So we have our lilac, and we have this like really beautiful green, like almost like a lime green. And then it has this like touch of red on the tip. And so I want those to be very like forward focused. So those are going right in the front. And I'm thinking that all of these ferns are also going to be in the front, just kind of coming down, cascading, to let these really shine and have their moment as well. And then a final piece is this like dark burgundy moment, which, I mean, the arrangement is very green forward. And I think like having just these pops of dark, especially in the front, I think is going to like really, to me, add this moment that like feels just special. We do a lot of weddings. We work with a lot of like set design. We do photo shoots, branded dinners. We have like been asked to do some very interesting installations. I think one of them that was challenging but so fun was a week-long installation turning a living room into a garden. And we used all of the furniture that people had, but also like filled flowers all around it and created a meadow. It was so much fun. It was for a shoe campaign. And it was very early in my career as well. So I felt very stressed to like make it perfect. And it wasn't perfect, but it was so beautiful. And I think that that was like a great lesson for me. I overbought so much. I think it was also whenever we were still in our Bushwick apartment, which was our first floral studio. And I purchased maybe 50 like grass plants to be delivered to our studio home. And we couldn't fit them in our apartment. So they just filled the sidewalk in the middle of Bushwick, all of these plants. And I was having my team like wrap the bottom of the plant in chicken wire because that's like our base for installations. And it's such a funny thing looking back. Like I remember those photos and I'm just like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I also was having so much fun and I was like figuring it out. And it's a very fond memory to think about those early installations that people really took a chance on me and trusted me to like make something interesting when it was trial and error for me as well. And I think our home arrangement is done. I like her. Love my home because it feels like a safe place. It feels like I can go out into the city, build all these arrangements, work with these clients, sometimes have really good days, sometimes have really bad days, and I can come home to this very peaceful, safe place that feels like mine. It's a rental, but it feels like I've like created so much ownership within it, and it feels like a place that like I can have people over and we can all just rest and be at peace and celebrate. We've had so many parties in this space where people can just come and like hang, and some core values for me is having like a peaceful space, having a space where people can enjoy themselves and celebrate, where I can host and like have these celebrations of life that doesn't even have to have a huge moment. It's just like simple moments. And this space has created that for me and my family. And it's also been really special to have the garden. And that's been a new like skill that I'm trying to like build. And all my perennials are coming back up right now. And I just didn't even know that like I could do that. And I'm so excited that I can. And then we also have a music studio in this space for my husband. And over the last 2 years, he's been able to release his own music, and it's all been like produced and written in this home. So we're gonna look back on this space in like 50 years and just be so thankful for this like little haven in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, where we were able to create and build a life that feels really special. Okay, Homeworthy, it's been so much fun. I'm so happy that you were in my space. I have to go get back to work. Thank you for being here. I'll see you at the market. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.